My name is Nyezi, and this is my fiance. My beautiful fiance.
Hi everyone, my name is Sanibonani, soon to be Mrs. Nyezi, and this is my fiance next to me.
Communication is very important in any relationship, but it is very important when we refer to a romantic relationship.
Communication does take a relationship very far, because if you are not communicating and you are misunderstanding each other, then the relationship is doomed and it is heading for disaster. So if you want to have build a very strong communication with your partner.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a very long while.
It's almost like a decade now. Next year it's going to be a decade.
So we've been together since February 2011, 2012.
Someone doesn't know when we met. I don't know when we met.
I do, but I mean, we've been together since.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Since February 2012.
You do get tired of another person, but it doesn't usually last for long. It's maybe for a couple of hours max. The most important reason is just that we have a lot in common, so we do not get tired of each other because of that, because we like the same things, we think the same way. Basically a lot that I do on my day is what she does on her day too. So it makes it very much easier to actually not get tired of her. We talk about the same things, yes. To some other people it might be boring, but it's not boring. It's very interesting.
We do enjoy each other's company. My fiance likes playing. He can be very annoying, but he's very nice to be around. We crack jokes and we have loads of fun when we're together.
And we also have inside jokes. No clever. Anyway, clever kubalulekile guys, like kakhulu kubalulekile. Especially xa unganqala ebhedi uhlebe uthi yo. Nomlesh namhlanje.
Yeah.
Band nomlesh. Yeah, azange nathi nomlesh like.
Shubi.
Makarest.
In the next 5 years, I see us sinomzi wethu. Probably 1 or 2 kids running around.
5.
Definitely not 5. In the peak of our careers, our marriage blossoming and sonobile and cinemadi.
And being able to travel.
Yes.
Traveling is very important. Her love language is food and money. Ayithanda imali. Noba imali encinci but ayithanda imali. Noba imali. Iflowers maninzi ngathi uyazithanda but uyazibulala in fact.
His love language is, I think, for him is affection. And he wants to be around even when I'm in the kitchen. So his love language is definitely affection, and not so much gifts. He doesn't really like gifts that much, but he accepts them. But he accepts them. But it's definitely affection and communication. No, he loves compliments.
She likes being beautiful.
There's definitely no set formula for a relationship. What works for us wouldn't work for other people. And for each couple, they are very unique. I can't say basina a formula of how we've come here this far. Ayuki formula, there's no set formula when you're with someone. Remember, you are meeting someone with a different personality, from a different background. But maybe it would be understanding. You have to understand your partner, communication, and the little things matter. Umpimana umuntu wakho. Umkhuphe, feed umuntu wakho. Like, there's no set formula, but there are things that work for us.
Now what I would say, you need to meet with umuntu who are compatible with naye. Do not avoid red flags. I was born red flags, they won't change. Do not try and change red flags. Try red, I call orange, I call pink. So if you're born man no, and this will because of A, B, C, and D, so foster because of a relationship. And if you do find them all compatible now, in the communication again, as Baba stated, communication again, make sure what you say is received is the same way, because there's no communicator, but the other person is not understanding the message we take. So make sure verify if or not. We talked about this, but the other person didn't perceive it. So that I think works. Compatible, and then also a communicator, because also right. So at some point you need to talk about a few things. The Melan is change so that and you can work things out if the other person is willing. You are willing to work on things. As a kinder is perfect. Cheating is a deal breaker. I believe cheating is a deal breaker. So it's a no-no. It's a definite no-no.
And it affects so much in the relationship when it comes to trust. So it's definitely a deal breaker.
About relationship here too, as much as you say couple, but we are individuals in the relationship. We are different. So when this is different. So when I want space, I understand, but no, I don't want to talk. Because we need to accept that singabantu are different. As much as we are working together in a relationship, but you cannot always be around this person. If I go ready to talk about something, till I be right to talk about whatever. Because their force is evidence is very complicated. Going into business simple, it's very complicated. And no trust on. I think trust we as okay. This person like a city, we are in minish. So if we finishing ati mandimia kakafunu teto funu good, magasifumane spaces like I don't have to be around here na okokoko.
Yeah. I think even for me too, Kumani understands when I want to detach that Gogu, like it's me time. I don't want to be around social media. When I want to do this, I want to deal with a certain thing. And when the booya and I'm okay, he understands and he's welcoming back. We might be going through something and I got forced back. Okay, you can't not be on social media and all of that. So it's basically about understanding that sometimes we just do need to tap out and have time out from each other. But it does not change relationship here too, and it does not change how we feel about each other, but we do give each other space to deal with our own things. So, a mutual friend of ours, actually, yes, Divanisa. I don't think why it's Divanisa for us to date, but I was a second year at varsity, and Ukumani was doing his first year. So he wanted Ingwadi that were being used. So he asked this friend of ours, and then this friend of ours has Shana in the same place. So I'm really like about this guy who wants books. And then I met this guy with the intention by and of course it was a business, it was a transaction, business, strictly business transaction. I was selling him books, and then he wanted more than books after that.
And I ended up even
of course. That's very important.
It's accountability basically anywhere in life. I think you need to be accountable for for your actions. But
yes.
For your actions, you need to be accountable for your actions. That means you need to take everything seriously, especially in a relationship. For the sake of
yes. Accountability is very important in a relationship, because if I do not take ownership of wrong and then it will cause problems. Because if I cannot apologize, then it's really going to be sour. Then which means whatever I can do as I please, and I don't see anything wrong with it, and then my partner is supposed to be okay with that. So accountability is very important, so that conflicts is unnecessary. Personally, I would never be able to do polygamy. I can be very demanding, and also I cannot be able to share. I will not. I saw them guys. So kabanya bantu, it's good for them. It works for them, and I think if you've got a system to do it, and understanding within your marriage and your relationships, then it's okay for you. But personally, I wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
Okay, I wouldn't do a polygamy, because hey, one. Imagine going to nabantu ababini abazandihlupha. I think as my fiance has said, if you think when like you'll be able to stand that, then you can do it. But I think okay, I'm being rude or I'm taking sides, but I think polygamy is about it's just a nice way of having a side chick, bringing your side chick at home. I think it's a nice way of making your side chick official, basically. Time and I think it's basically that, according to me. But I'm not saying if low energy and the time to satisfy all those women, then they can do it.
And also, when does it stop? Because you get this one, and then financially,
financially it might be also, but you find that polygamy are actually financially stable people. Go expensive these days for having. You need to think before you can't just have 5 by 6 without proper planning. So imagine now having a wife,
by 5.
Yes, and then the other one will also have another 5. So for me, but here we need to also understand, but they do it for other different reasons. The first wife cannot have children, and then they might have a second wife in that case, and not one. So we need to be open-minded about it. I think it depends. What's your reason for it? Why are you doing polygamy? Are you doing it because you just met a new person that you think can make you happy? Is it more reasons to instead of just having another woman in your life? So if the reason is siyavakala, I think it's fine. But again, if you're just having an addition, as a teenager, take things slow. Or a teenager, you still have a long way ahead. You think you do, but you don't. And on your teenage years, are you in the early ages or are you in the late ages of a teenager? But I would say take things slow. Yes, the more you get educated, the more izawutshintsha ne-taste yakho yabantu. You have an understanding, a deeper understanding now of hayi man, ubani ubona nje makayilo nto bendiyifuna. Like njengoba ndiplana nje useno-end up ngokadivert yena angabi according to the plans. Xa uyi-teenager kulula to talk and have all these nice plans, but xa uku-implementa ke ngoku iqale ke ngoku ingxaki, because ingase xa niplanile into ikwazi ulandela eza plans and not divert on the way. Kuba usenothi kanti nyani you uzixelele wena ngalo mntu kanti this person is not yours. And now usay limited because this is all you've seen your entire life. Kanti usezawuhamba, you go to varsity and end up udibana nabanye abantu who are different. Abantu mhlawumbi baza kuchallenja, of which I think it's better to have someone who challenges you. Engqondweni ungadibani nomntu ozakudodobalisa, ongazuku-encourage you to continue with life and to aspire your goals. Kuba uzawuba into ngaphandle kwamaphupha akho. Now uzoenda uphupha amaphupha omnye umntu okanye uphila amaphupha omnye umntu. So you need someone who's going to support you. I'm not saying that entirely it might not work out, but ingase umntu abe nayo loo ngqondo yobana it might work out, it might not work out. Ungazinikezeli as a teenager because there's still a lot you need to learn in life.
Growing up, my mother used to tell me, "Mama, need some papandle." And you think this is it when you're a teenager, like this person that you meet. I really agree with my fiance when he says that there is more to life than what you see pangwako. So as a teenager navigating your way through life and love, take it very slowly and know that beyond where you are right now, there are more bigger things to come. You really run the risk of having it working out or not working out. Even as adults, it's the pits. Left, right and center, kubi. So you really do not want to limit yourself as a teenager because you think that this is it. And ubomi is not a fairy tale. It's not what you watch on TV. You get to be in touch with the reality. So take it very slowly. And banyansile, like our parents, when they say that, focus on iskolo qala. When you umdala, at least it's more wiser. You're going to meet more people, and you really don't want to make life-changing mistakes as a teenager that cannot be reversible. So take it very slowly and know that it's really not the end of the world. You will get someone eventually, and the best days of your life, usevasity. That is where you learn and you explore. And as a teenager, there's so much that you need to learn about yourself as a person. And there's so much that you need to explore. And as a young adult. So do not limit yourself. And I'd suggest that if you're in a relationship as a teenager, don't keep the original. Thank you for tuning in today and watching this episode on relationships. Be sure to
subscribe.